Welcome back. Our next guest is Paul Palmieri.
Right.
Italiano?
Italian, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you started a whole new business. What's it called?
Preferred pet sitters.
Preferred pet sitters.
Right, it's a play on
Why
words.
you preferred?
Well, we use the word F-U-R in there as preferred.
Oh, God.
It's a play on words.
All right. So now, what do you do?
We come to your home. We provide in-home pet sitting. If you're going to go on vacation for, say, 10 days, we come there, take care of your critters, make sure that they're looked after.
You mean you go physically to the house
We will visit the house as many times as you need us to.
and take the dog for the walk?
Take them for a walk. I do midday dog walks.
Are you on Angie's list?
No, I'm not.
You ever see that commercial?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so in other words, you charge for a service of saying you're going on vacation and you want the dog walk 3 times a day, and you would schlep over there, so to speak, and take the dog out or pet the cat
Right,
or
we make
whatever.
sure they have food and water.
Yeah.
We clean out the litter box.
Yeah.
Feed the birds. We dispense medications as well.
Oh, really?
We're certified in pet first aid.
But wouldn't you take the pet to so you have many pets in one location?
The advantage of having an in-home pet sitter
Yeah.
is that I personally, my wife and I, we only charge per visit
Okay.
rather than per pet. So if you have multiple pets, the advantage of having an in-home pet sitter, plus the advantage of having someone come into your home. So you're having your home looked after. We can retrieve the mail.
Oh, I see. So you're doing more than just the pet.
Right.
Do you sit there and talk to the dog and tell him it's okay and Mama
Well,
and Papa will be
I've
home?
never had an unhappy customer. Every time I walk in there, I always get greeted with wagging tails. And
Wait, oh boy, here comes somebody else to feed me.
that's right.
But what's the biggest client you ever had? How many pets did they have in one home that surprised you?
Well, really, I've had clients with up to 5 animals, some more.
Oh, really?
I walk 5 dogs at once, 3 times a week. That's
3
fine.
times a day.
3 times a week.
Well, what do they do in between?
Well, I guess their owner walks them on Tuesdays and
Oh,
Thursdays.
okay. You're doing it on their schedule. Oh,
Correct.
okay. But if they're gone for 2 weeks, you have to go 3 times a day, wouldn't you?
Well, those are just the daily dog walks. If it's
Yeah.
going in someone's home while they're on vacation, then it'd be 3 times a day. It could be 4. Some people
Oh,
want
really?
5.
Really? What's
Yeah.
the biggest dog you had to walk?
Well, I've taken care of pit bulls,
All right.
and I've taken care of little tiny
Little guys.
little guys.
What about the cats? Did you get any cats in your
We
your
have
armor?
cats galore.
Now, how do you feed them? Do they leave food for you to give to the animal?
Normally, they would leave the food out. We have an initial consultation where we explain what we do and how we do it, and we give them a checklist of things that they could leave behind.
Okay, what should pet owners do generally? Take your pet to the vet regularly. Why
Right.
should it be regular?
Well, it's just like you go to your doctor regularly for checkups.
That's once a year.
Well, then
You should- oh, really?
at least
Just
once a
follow
year.
up?
Sure.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
they need to have their licensing. They need their shots.
Do you groom them for them if they want?
We do brush. We don't do any extensive grooming.
Just so that they, the stuff is down. And get your facts about your vet about spading and neutering.
Right. You go to your vet.
You don't
and-
do this on the side, do you?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Just want to make sure. All right. And maintain proper vaccines and license. Do you ask for vaccines and license?
We ask during the initial consult, and
As a
we
vet.
have paperwork that we provide them where they can leave the information. This way, if there's an emergency while they're away, we have contact with their vet. We have emergency contact information to get in touch with them. And if the animals are microchipped, which is the best,
Does that really work, that
Yes.
microchip? Where do you
Yes.
put that chip in the animal?
The vet will insert it normally in the back,
Behind the neck.
behind the neck, and
Was
you
it send out a message, here I am?
no,
or-
it's a device that they can use to scan. It'll give them a number,
Hmm.
and then they can look it up in the system and see who the pet belongs to.
No. How does are every animal done with this, or what majority is microchip, so to speak?
Well, it's the owner's responsibility or decision to get their animal microchipped. It's not something that's mandatory. We've had all our animals microchipped, and in the event that an animal gets lost,
How many animals do you have?
I have a dog and 3 cats.
And you put a microchip in the cat?
Yes.
Really? How big
Well,
is this microchip
It's just a small little device
thing?
that sits under the skin.
And these cats go outside, obviously. So
But in the
what-
event that they got out of the house and got lost and animal services picked them up, they'd be able to call us and let us know that
So
they have
animal
our
service would scan them and see if they have a number.
Correct.
And then they would call a phone number and say, you're the proud owner of it, and they would call you, or however it works out.
We found Kitty wandering the neighborhood, come get him.
Ah, but do you pay for that service when you call the number?
You pay for the microchip, and I'm assuming that you pay for a fee
per call
when you have to pick up your pet from the animal services.
So how did you get into this whole idea? I mean, you just wanted to do it, or what?
Well, taking care of animals has always been our passion. And I used to be in the Air Force. I left the Air Force, went into corporate world.
Yeah.
And left the corporate world last year and decided, why don't I start doing what I've been doing on the side for money?
For full time.
And
well, you're on call 24/7 then, right?
24/7.
Wow.
I was 24/7 in the military, so used to.
They didn't bug you that much, did they? Huh? All right. Now, what's this thing about for a pet first aid?
Well, a pet is a part of your family.
Yeah.
And just as if you had a child, you would want to know basic first aid techniques. You know, for a skinned knee, an animal may have a cut on its paw. So how do you address that cut? They may have a problem where they aren't breathing correctly. They can go into shock. A cat will chew on an electrical cord. How do you identify those things?
Well, I would hold the funeral right away.
Excuse me?
It's a true electrical cord. I would do the funeral right away.
Well, a lot of times you may not see that they've chewed on the electrical cord. Animals can hide their pain much better than a human.
How do you know when an animal's in pain?
You need to know your animal.
Yeah.
Know their habits.
And if they change, you know
if they
something?
change, like if your dog picks up everything and eats it,
Yeah.
and then regurgitates it,
Yeah.
that may be normal for your pet. But
Yeah.
if you have an animal that doesn't normally do
never
that,
did it before,
and then starts doing it, you know that you may have a problem.